in the middle of replacing the kitchen door. As you can see, the door is off there. It's got a doggy door that they covered over. This is the inside. Obviously it's all chewed up. So the question is, what do you do? This glass looks a little insecure if you ask me. So what I'm going to do is just replace it with a solid flush door, which is that one right there. So I'm in the process of cutting out the hinges. I've got 2 done, and I'm down to my last one, which is laid out there. I actually put the door in the opening just to get the hinges to lay out. I'm using a combination of a chisel and a router, and they seem to look pretty good. Question always is when you hang the door, how's it going to be then? So I'll continue to make progress, and I'll let you know once I get the door hung there. So we talked about this kitchen exterior door, right? Remember, it was a window door. Last night I put in the deadbolt, which involved cutting out the hole, and I think that turned out pretty good. Looks pretty clean, right? So I just wanted to show you the finished product of that. Works pretty well. That's always good. And then the other detail is this front door. So this is a good before. You can see how bad this all is. I think we had water coming down through it, and the door doesn't work real well. It rubs on the bottom, which I'm hoping is just a matter of tightening up these hinges. It sags a little bit here. I can feel the movement. And they got all this blowout, which from my experience with my Bondo, I might be all right. Here's the other thing. Can you see how this is rounded over to get the door to close? I'm going to try to sharpen that up. So I had originally budgeted replacing that door, but I think I can get that to work. So we'll see. So something else I just discovered here is this casing has a lot of movement, and this was evidence of it, this gap. So when you see it and I pull on it, see how it's moving? And that also would have to do with why the plaster is breaking away. So I'm going to try to get some masonry tapcons up in here, see what that does. It seems to be mostly up top. So it seems to get firmer as it gets to the bottom. So let's see what happens. Okay, so I've chipped away at this water damage, and I've got it down to where I consider it to be sound, meaning nothing's flaking off. I've chipped and vacuumed it out. I don't know if you can even see here, I chiseled away here in an even line, because this channel is set back. Somehow this wall has come away, or the frame has moved in, away, out actually. So here when I skim this, we can actually get it to look flush. Anyway, even in the frame I've sanded and tried to get everything sound. Your finish is only as good as your foundation, like when you build a house, right? Same detail here. Your patching will only be as durable as the basics. So I feel like I've chopped away all the stuff that is going to come off. One other detail I'm going to do, if you rub your hand on this, it's kind of like sandy. The grit comes off a little bit, and you could mud onto that, but it's not as tight as it should be. So I have this product, and there are other brands. This is called Sealcrete. It's a waterproofing primer sealer, for concrete. But it also, it's basically just an acrylic fortifier, and it's thin as water. It's like milk. I'm going to brush it in on this, and what it does is it penetrates into that and then seals that, so it's nice and hard and it doesn't, let off little bits of gravelly plaster. We'll do that on all this, and then our next step is to do some bondoing on these rounded edges and the holes and things in the wood frame. So one thing I do is I make sure I saturate it really good. So as it kind of sets, it goes in, and then I let it kind of wet, and then I let it soak in a little bit, and then I go back. Once it's kind of wet, I think it lets more of it in. You're kind of just trying to satisfy that. It's the next day on my front door project, and significant because I was bondoing the edge, and sometimes letting the bondo stay overnight kind of helps with its sanding. Otherwise, sometimes it just seems a little gummy and kind of gums up the sandpaper. So overnight kind of helps with the sanding. So just want to show you some of the things, how it looks, what I did, and what the results are, most importantly. So let me show you that. Alright, so what I did is I bondoed that rounded edge that was on the all the way down the side that they had chiseled away to try to get the door to open and close right. And I even went right over all the strike plate, the deadbolt, and I'll recut those just because I'm assuming with the door tightened up, those might not line up anyway. So I was able to put some screws, Tapcons in the frame, tighten it up, doesn't move now. I've now attached the door. The other thing I did is I actually took the hinge off and I bondoed the holes. Let it dry and then screwed the holes. So those hinges tied up. Now the big test is always about how well does the door now actually work. So I've just put it on. Let's see what happens. Ooh, look at that. And a nice margin. Wow, that worked out real well. Like a new door. Doesn't touch at all, doesn't touch at the bottom. Perfect. Nice. So we'll recut the strike, and the next step is to paint the door. It was stained, but it's all dried out now. I've sanded a little bit. It's easier to keep up with a painted door, I think, at this point. Anyway, check back with you. So just to show you where I am with the front door, you can see we got the mechanism working good. We've got our patching. It's not done, but it's probably only going to need another coat or two. Done some sanding on the door. See, I primed up the outside, did some patching. So yeah, we're looking good on the door.